Well, what is in the papers and tabloids to do with Arsenal today? I must admit, the transfer news videos, it annoys me, man. Yeah, we get engagement, we get some talking points going with you lot, but I prefer to talk about Arsenal, what we see on the pitch tactically, and our thoughts in relation to the club. So make sure you check out that content. Now, is it a case, people, of the same old names, same old names? We're hearing Cunha, we're hearing Sesko, Vlahovic is being thrown back in the ring, Raphinha's there every now and again, Adamola Lookman. They're even linking us once again with Douglas Luiz, man. Again, this must be like an extension of Christmas for the journalists, because there's no way of seeing who knows what they're talking about. Every ITK journalist, everybody uses the same language and latches onto one person's story. It's dead, really and truly. But anyways, people, we know that depending on what clubs you transfer news you read, allegedly Arsenal, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Manchester United, and a few other clubs are eyeing up Matheus Cunha. And you do see the asking price fluctuate. You do see today, it appears Wolves might reluctantly soften their stance and get rid of a player who seems like his head is somewhat turned. Prior, it seemed like they're trying to, keep him. Ironically, we're playing Wolves on Saturday. Obviously, they're in a relegation fight. We know those connotations. Nottingham Forest are excelling on and off the field. And I have to respect the ambition. I wonder how much Edu's played a part in them going for Cunha. They were linked with Douglas Luiz, a player that Edu wanted. As I said, ambition. Hudson-Odoi playing out of his skin. Wood, why for that? But playing out of his skin. Alanga, the whole of it. Wood, again, the whole Nottingham Forest team out of their skin. Nuno Espirito Santo doing their thing. And this, for me, screams ambition, whether they want to qualify for the Champions League, or you look at the points tally. I don't look at the league table in what could be a Leicester kind of season. And, Liverpool are the big dogs, but you never know. Nottingham Forest in the title race, people, and they're showing ambition, people. Apparently, Nottingham Forest are prepared to break a club record in order to sign Cunha. However, other Premier League clubs are monitoring the player, including Arsenal. They've also still been linked with Visa of Brentford, as have we, people. So it's the same old names in a merry-go-round. Again, Arsenal have been joined by Chelsea and alleged in this article 2 other Premier League clubs in the race for Cunha before deadline day. We got a week to go. I did cover some other stuff in the last video, so make sure you check that out after this. Cunha had appeared likely to commit his future to Wolves early this month, having been close to signing a new deal, but negotiations have stalled amid interest from elsewhere. Speculation surrounding the 25-year-old's future intensified on Monday night when he was abolished by his, I'm not sure on that, by his manager Victor Pereira, who was unhappy with his body language during the defeat at Stamford Bridge. He said, I had a conversation in the dressing room. He can be frustrated because he wants to win, but everyone in this team wants to win. I don't like his body language. I want someone as captain trying to help the team, running, suffering, fighting together. This is something I can understand. Next time I will not understand. Boy, while a contract extension remains unsigned and with the relationship between the club and manager now strained, there is now every chance Cunha could leave the Molineux in the next coming weeks, according to Romano. We all know Arsenal need reinforcements. 25 years of age, doing his thing, got 10 goals this season. 10 goals this season, having scored 14 in all comps in his debut season. They bought him for 44 million, so they would make a tiny bit of a profit. But he's linked with everybody. If it becomes clear that Wolves are going to sell him, they want to sell to the highest bidder. It does seem like he's kicking up a fuss now, people. Apparently, Spurs are said to be keeping tabs on Cunha, but the struggling North London club are considered as outsiders in the transfer chase that is hotting up. You never know. But Nottingham Forest right now, because of what they're doing, their project seems a lot more ambitious. Arsenal's, we can have a lot of question marks. Us and Spurs, there's no contest. Man United, people always sign for United and Arsenal and Chelsea. So Spurs don't know why getting involved there. It's not really making sense, mate. But anyways, once again, Sky Sports are saying Arsenal are one of 5 Premier League clubs interested in Cunha. It's thought an offer of around 60 million could be enough to tempt Wolves to sell the player. Cunha has been offered a new contract, which he's unlikely to sign at the moment. Now, he hasn't signed his new deal, not sure of his existing one, but surely they'll get 50, 60 in the summer. Would you lot spend 60 million on Cunha? Do you think he's worth 60 million? Let me know your thoughts, because boy, I must admit, I'm getting a bit desperate. I don't think that's the worst. Now, I did cover some of this on another video. Check that out, people. But the ITKs from a Wolves perspective, Ari Cunha. It's my understanding that it's now more likely that Cunha will depart Wolves this window than stay. A number of Premier League clubs have apparently shown an interest, and the Brazilian is apparently keen to depart. I'd be absolutely delighted to have this one wrong, and I hope he signs a new deal, but I'm not sure that will happen. And for Wolves and their manager, when it becomes clear that he's not signing a new deal, his head has been turned by whatever club, whichever club, with it being a week or just over a week until the window closes. At what point do you go, you know what, if you're gonna leave, because you got to remember, we've got to replace someone as well. And to be honest with you, Wolves should just be focusing on the project they've got, and staying in the division. Obviously, if it's not Cunha, it's probably Lamina that's linked with a move away, and they're gonna have to make something happen in that regard. Sky Sports have said, people, internal talks at Arsenal continue over the recruitment of a forward. There's a long-term interest in RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, and discussions are ongoing whether a deal is possible in this window. We have heard that before, and naturally everyone on their nan is speaking about that. Ben Jacobs has said Arsenal have made recent contact with Leipzig over Benjamin Sesko, who remains a strong 2025 target. Arsenal reignite in 2024 interest mid-season, moves still complicated, even with Leipzig knocked out the Champions League. Sesko's agent has made it clear no loan in January. Now, unless it's a loan with an obligation to buy, where it's a permanent deal, but you've done it in a way, you know, you can kind of outsmart the accountants and whatnot, why would they want to sell him? Why would they want to loan him out? Arsenal put the money down. We hear 70 million, we hear 65, we hear 67. Whether I rate Sesko or not, if you lot have been following him for the best part of 2 years, you really were having him down as a 2025 summer target. I would imagine whatever the budget is, whether we've got money carrying over from the summer and all of these other things, FFP, PSR, whatever the budget is, you would imagine some allocation of that budget is going to be put towards a striker, specifically Benjamin Sesko. So if there is a small percentage of Sesko's willingness to get a deal done, Leipzig willing to listen to an offer, and the agent willing to get things done, go and get it. Because if anything, that's one less thing to do in the summer. And again, signing a striker and or a winger isn't going to save our season per se, but it shows us some ambition. And obviously, if you get Sesko now, and going back to what we hear about Zubimendi, that's two of your key targets done. And then you could just focus on, I don't know what you want to focus on, but whatever we've got. And we can finally have a summer where we've actually done everything we need to in terms of incomings. Again, this Sam C ITK, no disrespect, but, I don't know if these guys do or do not know what they're speaking about. He said Arsenal made contact last week for Benjamin Sesko and are exploring a deal, as exclusively revealed. Arsenal originally asked for a loan and were told no way. Leipzig want money up front, as reported. So do we have the cash? What is seen as more of a feasible deal? Cunha for 60-odd million quid or Benjamin Sesko? I'm not sure really and truly in that regards. What if Benjamin Sesko says, hey, you said I wasn't playing ahead of Kai Havertz? Things change. Now, if we really have done the groundwork, get things done, man. Con Marble Halls, another ITK, has said Arsenal and Sesko still has potential for this window. Clubs are speaking. Player would be open to the move. Would cost north of 65 million, people. I want to go back. ESPN's James Ollie has said that, reiterated what everybody's saying, that there is interest in Sesko. Obviously, it's allegedly been discussed. Apparently, according to Ollie, Arsenal believes Sesko will be available in the summer, not just to Arsenal, but everyone. Let's hope we did the groundwork. And they think that there's some sort of gentleman's agreement in place for Sesko to leave the club at the end of the season. I'm sure there is. But being devil's advocate, how far does a gentleman's agreement go specifically in business, people, where you need cold-hearted writing? Because if you want to be bad mind, imagine Sesko plays for my club and just say I'm bad mind, people. I might say 1 month, Sesko, we've got a gentleman's agreement. When it actually comes to honor that, whether I'm a scumbag or not, say, what are you talking about? We never had that conversation. He's calling me a liar. No, we didn't. You got any proof? Where is that? So yeah, man, we've been linked with him before. Apparently, Arsenal internally believe he'll be available in the summer, and he could be available for around 67 million. Now, I don't know with January if that changes and things of that ilk, but yeah, people. Apparently, they feel my information is that they feel Sesko is available in the summer, and they feel there is some sort of agreement between Leipzig and the player that he'll be allowed to go for a price of between 70 to 75 million euros. It could be outside of that band, but that's the rumor about him at the moment. But hey, I guess we'll have to see. There's bare whispers in relation to my man, people. So yeah, we've covered that bit. What else have we got? Manchester City and Chelsea have asked Juventus about Douglas Luiz, who stunk up the place in the Champions League recently for them and is really struggling. Douglas Luiz was previously linked with us. I only mention him here, people, and it's not. We don't need to stay too long on that. I only mention that because, as you know, Jorginho's contract is winding down. He's been linked with Palmeiras and Flamengo. This is linking him with a move to Flamengo when his deal runs out, people. And they said if he were to leave in January, we would look at Douglas Luiz ourselves. Again, I don't know if that's creative journalism. Ornstein has spoken about Gyökeres, people. He says that Arsenal aren't prioritizing Gyökeres in their search for a striker, while the player himself isn't overly sold on a move to Arsenal. The Sesko one, I do think, is an option for the summer. After that, you look towards different profiles like Gyökeres and players of that ilk, but I don't think that is one Arsenal have been prioritizing for style, and I don't think Gyökeres is prioritizing Arsenal either. So we haven't been in Gyökeres' advisor's ears telling him a move could happen, probably like we're doing with Sesko. And for me, I've said this before. I do think Gyökeres would flag up on a potential target list for Arsenal, but I think they're clearly in love with Sesko, age profile, all of that stuff. I think Isak is the impossible dream, and then I think they would consider Osimhen, and then I think Gyökeres is. I think there's an admiration for Gyökeres in Arsenal. Like Arsenal have an admiration for him. Let's be real, Gyökeres would listen to an offer from Arsenal, but beyond that, I don't think there is anything to it, really. It's more paper-led, but what do I know? I'm just an armchair expert like you lot. Romano says Arsenal are highly likely to sign a new forward, people. This is the expectation of Mikel Arteta, so I expect the club to back him and find a solution on the market, even if big names are not available. It's highly likely, he said, people. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We're being linked with Cunha, the Vlahovic one, even that seems to be paper talk as well. Apparently, Ademola Lookman could be available for 25 million, people. The man's got 14 goals in 26 appearances for Atalanta. And has done well over there. Previous reports, which this hyperlink said has previously said Kivior could be offered as a make weight. He has only got 18 months left on his deal. Would Atalanta let him go now? Could you test the waters? I reckon you could, but that's probably one for the summer. And apparently they've slashed their asking price on someone that would count as homegrown as well. And I mean, 71 goal and assists in 104 appearances. Wouldn't be my first choice, but I wouldn't be against it. Chelsea have been linked with Vlahovic. Some things have poured cold water on that. Some have added fuel to the fire. Naturally, Arsenal, which are Chelsea's London rivals, have also been linked. It's fair to say at this moment in time, they just name us for no reason. Arsenal are closely monitoring the situation of Visa as they look to strengthen their attacking options. Visa and then Buemo, another player I'd love at the carpet. Smash the like button and comment and let me know your thoughts, people. That is summer at best. And Brentford have made it clear he's not going. Apparently, Napoli have made contact with Borussia Dortmund over Karim Adeyemi. Now, Karim Adeyemi would frustrate the daylights out of me, but I'd have him at Arsenal. All the stuff that you lot said about Raheem Sterling and Mikel Arteta could fine tune him, or you say about Rashford, I'd rather him do that with Karim Adeyemi because he's just a player that needs a bit of tweaking. Really believe in the lad's quality, but it would pull him and Martinelli. If there's a game, both of those players are on either flank. I'm telling you, people, we would be incredibly frustrated. And there's no relevance with Arsenal with this, but apparently Samuel Chukwueze could be on his way out of AC Milan. Apparently he's yet to play a single minute under Sergio Cancelo. Obviously, we can't get no more loans from the Premier League, but could this... I don't necessarily believe in his talents, think he's a good player, but could this be someone that, rightly or wrongly, whether we like it or not, if we're scrambling for a body, whether it's right or wrong, could this be someone that helps us tick over to the summer, people? And we did try to buy Raphinha when he went to Barcelona, so naturally those rumors are going to continue. He's having such a great time at Barcelona that goalies are kicking the ball in his face. If you've watched the Champions League highlights, people, quality player, doing very well. Finally looks like the Raphinha of Leeds, or the form that got Barca to buy him and more. Manchester City are supposedly going to make an 100 million euros bid for Raphinha. Arsenal also interested, but they wouldn't be able to compete with Man City financially. Yeah, we wouldn't. Definitely where 100 million is concerned. I guess the law of Pep Guardiola and the rebuild and Raphinha would be a great signing for City. But I think he's one of them. He wants to stay at Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona's situation is crazy. They're always buying players and selling players. And it does feel like him, De Jong or Rojo, they've been players that are kind of halfway out the door, half not. But Yeah, he seems like he's hell bent on staying, because when it wasn't looking like this and his form didn't dictate staying, he made clear I want to stay. He's finally, the star man, the talisman, and whatnot. It's not good. It don't make sense. And to be fair with you, we're definitely not going to do this in January. We're definitely not going to do this in the summer. Apparently, City want one more player. Now, I'm just mentioning Vlahovic because, as it says, Arsenal and Chelsea have been named as Premier League suitors. Apparently, ironically, Barcelona have thrown themselves into the mix for him, people. Odegaard said on big chance to progress in Europe. Win our next 2 games in the champs. We're all right, man. So it is what it is, man. Like, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'd love to wake up tomorrow and we've got Cunha and Sesko. I think, they've both got question marks, but I think they both elevate the squad. Let me know your thoughts, though, folks.